Talk about obviously the Great Basin Bristlecone Pines also. I'm Steven.
Juliet.
Michaela.
Sierra. You should all know our names by now.
And so, like the previous group had said, the scientific name for this species is the Pinus longinipa, and it grows in higher mountains of California, Nevada, and Utah, and it's the longest living of all sexually reproducing and non-clonal species, and a lot of the individuals are known to exceed the ages of 4,000 years.
So just a little background that we're going to be covering. The forest where the bristlecones reside is east of the, well, we're going to focus on, is east of the Owens Valley, high on the eastern face of the White Mountains. And these trees have survived for thousands of years in their dry, high altitude groves. Bristlecones occur only in 6 western states, but the oldest are in the White Mountains of California. Most common on thick, rocky substrates, and they grow slowly due to the cold temperatures, dry soils, high winds, and short growing seasons. The following slides, we're going to dig deeper into the profile of the bristlecones, the age structure, range, and effects of the bristlecones.
Okay, so basically like the profile of the bristlecone, it has dense and resinous wood. It has a root system composed of highly branched shallow roots that provide for structural support. And the developing cones are a deep purple color, which help absorb the heat. The bristlecone needles are about 1 inch long, and they come in packets of 5. And they mature at 2 years of age, which turn to a brown color. The cone scales are like claw-like bristles, which is like why they're bristlecones, and they only grow towards the ends of the branches. So the previous group, the oldest living tree was about roughly 4,900 years old, which was, it's called the Prometheus story, that's what they called it. It was cut in 1964 by Donald R. Curry. He was doing research for Ice Age glaciology, and so they don't know why it was cut down. Some say he didn't know how to take the core of it, so they had to do a whole whole dissection of it. But in 2012, Dr. Peter Brown of Rocky Mountain Tree Ring Research Group found the now oldest living tree, 5,065 years old. And these trees have a high proportion of dead to live wood, which reduces the respiration of water loss and extends the life. And the higher elevation equals the older living of the tree. So they've seen that when the trees are at a lower elevation, they tend to die off faster than the others. And the north-facing trees usually live about 2,000 years average, and the ones on the south live about 1,000 years average.
Okay, so the Great Basin Bristlecone Pine can be found in Utah, Nevada, and Eastern California. In California, the pines are located in the Inyo National Forest, which is high above Bishop in the White Mountains and east of Owens Valley. So in the National Forest, in Shulman's Grove, is location of the Methuselah, is a Great Basin Bristlecone pine that is more than 4,800 years old, and unlike other famous national sites, it is unmarked to avoid anthropogenic harm such as graffiti. The pines grow between 9,000 and 11,000 feet above sea level in all but inhospitable climate, and these trees live for thousands of years. So the pines grow on dolomite rock, which is an ancient white metamorphosized limestone formed from the shallow seabed deposits in the Paleozoic era from 350 and 440 million years in the past.
Oh. So I'm talking about the threat, which is typically climate change, and the Great Basin Bristlecone. We talked about like the longevity it has, and that pretty much has to do with like its adaptations to the harsh conditions that it endures up in high elevations, and that's pretty much like the secret for its longevity. And so it typically grows, like we said, in the isolated grove just below the tree line. And how the previous group had said, you know, fire can be a risk also, but because it's low density and it has long distances between the next like cluster of trees, that's, yeah, as far as vegetation, it's less likely to be affected by fires up in high elevations. And so it has the environment has cold temperatures, a short growing season, high winds, and it has a slow growth for the bark, and that really affects like the growth of the rings. Some years that doesn't add a ring to it, and that kind of has to do with obviously the environment. And this allows the wood to be very dense and be resistant to like insects, fungi, rot, and erosion. And like we had said, there's trees that are found to be around 5,000 years old, and one of them is obviously in the White Mountains of California. And it's a fun fact, it's like one of the oldest trees. When it was a seedling, the pyramids in Egypt were being constructed. And so, you know, they've survived so many things like wars and extreme weather, but one thing that they are at risk for is climate change. And they've, you know, thrived up in the high elevations, survived the temperatures, and pretty much what is happening is there's another tree called the limber pine, and it's pretty much dominating the mountain slope. And so as the warmer temperatures are occurring, everything's trying to recede and move up the mountain slope. And birds typically like the limber pines more, so there's dispersing those seeds heavily, and not really the great bristlecone pine tree. So yeah, they're pretty much being outcompeted, and you know the warmer temperatures are also affecting it. No questions.
You had there's a big variety in the two groups delivering. Yeah, that was wonderful. Questions?
How's his bed?
I have a question about the limber pine.
Yes.
So is that intermingled with bristlecone? And why do the birds like it better?
Well, bristlecone pine is more it's below the tree line, and so the ones that are pretty much on the mountain slope are the limber pine. And so you know, as everything's receding up, the limber pine they're heavily dispersed, or they have a high density, so pretty much like the light and the water supply is being focused more on the limber pine, so that's affecting obviously the bristlecone. And they're very lush with vegetation. They kind of look like ornamental trees, so I would assume that's why the birds like them more. You know, we had some show pictures, and these are kind of like dead looking and into
Yeah.
forms and sun and all that. So I would assume that's why the birds like them more.
So and then obviously the limber pine like the dolomite soil and the substrate of the mixture of whatever Jamie said, 50% rock content. So limber pine, what are their age ranges?
I think it was like, so the oldest bristlecones are like around 4,000 to 5,000, and the oldest limber pines I've seen are like 2,000.
So they're really old trees too then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, as everything's receding, the limber pine is pretty much becoming heavily, then it's getting a higher density, and
Because it can sit just above that timberline.
yeah.
So it's making its way high up elevation.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just pushing everything out. Like I said, the light and water supply is being focused on.
Other questions? Thanks, guys.